Welcome to Timm Talks Presents Fast and Furious Presents, a podcast presentation of Timm Talks Fast and the Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw.
I hate you
Presents.
so much.
Which ones are ampersands and which ones are ands?
Sorry, you're right. Let me do that again. Welcome to Timm Talk Presents Fast ampersand Furious Presents Hobbs ampersand Shaw presents a podcast presentation of Timm Talks Fast ampersand Furious Hobbs ampersand Shaw.
Are you
A
proud of yourself?
masterpiece.
I'm actually
Are
very
you proud of that bit?
This is what I was doing last night as I drove home from the movie, was figuring out how
Practicing?
I wanted practicing this exact joke.
Did you swerve
And-
into another lane when you're like, genius,
Yeah, I
I
did.
found it.
I in fact swerved, died, was cybernetically enhanced, and have come back here to do this podcast.
Oh, God. You're a member of Echion?
I am.
Welcome to
but
Timm Talk.
As you
That's
can,
Chris.
As you can tell, that's right. Yes, I'm Chris,
I'm Cameron.
and we have our returning guest, Shane. Welcome back, Shane.
Hello, thank you for having me.
As you guys can tell already, we are taking a diversion away from our usual DCAU chatter to talk about another blockbuster film. And of course, it had to be
The blockbuster.
the blockbuster film that I was dragged to by these two idiots. And my retribution is now forcing them to talk about it on a podcast.
I accept your terms.
Yeah. What are your hot takes on this thing? But I mean, you know what? Here's the thing. It's all about family, guys. It's really all about family at the end of the day, which is why, of course, Shane, you're here.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, thanks.
you're our brother, our family,
Our Uso?
our familia.
Yeah, my Uso. God,
Yeah.
it's so
Our
great
Uso.
to be here with my Usos in Samoa.
Yeah, we're talking the Fast and the Furious. It's a full-on spoiler podcast. It's like you can't really spoil this movie, I would say, with the exception of a couple cameos.
Yeah.
So, but even those are
I mean, you
getting
can spoil it by
spoiled
saying that they should have died many times.
Oh, yeah. This film franchise that started out with stealing DVD players and now involves a cybernetic super soldier with a bioengineered virus.
The first movie, like the biggest thing I remember is that Jordana Brewster makes him a sandwich for like 5 minutes of the film.
Oh, yeah.
She runs a
he
cafe.
loves, yeah, he loves his tuna.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
like a tuna melt or
melt,
something
yeah.
like that. And now that's like the cold open is just like MI6 murdering a bunch of nucleophisic terrorists.
MI6 recapturing a biovirus from the basement of St. Paul's Cathedral, I think. I'm pretty sure that's what's happening there.
Who were they stealing it from initially? Because
I don't know.
And also, why was Idris Elba like, you guys all go, I'll meet you there. I got to take my motorcycle just another way.
Oh, I don't think you were here when I was telling Chris this. So I have behind the scenes news about those scenes.
Oh.
Because a friend of mine cut the initial trailers for Hobbs and Shaw, so they had a lot of green screen footage.
Okay.
And he says his favorite thing to watch was so for people who haven't seen it, the motorcycle moves on its own. It's commanded by
Autopiloted.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I kind of thought it was cool. I was like, Idris Elba, a little bit of a transformer.
So the thing is, that's not a CGI motorcycle. It's a guy in a green screen suit walking the motorcycle to him. And just knowing that footage exists makes me so excited for any behind the scenes footage we'll get of this.
Oh, I wish it just showed his face, and it's just like the melancholy look of this guy having his job being walked.
Well, I mean, it's Sean Gunn.
Oh.
100%.
Oh, okay.
Shane, the reference there is that Sean Gunn does the on-set CGI work for Rocket Raccoon in the
Yeah.
Avengers movies. I wasn't sure if you'd get that.
Oh, yeah.
Or if other people
Come on,
would get
guys,
that.
I'm into it.
Also, you're leaning way too far away from the microphone.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There you go. Now you're good.
Speaking of the mic.
Now you're good.
You told me I had to be a half I'm keeping a fist distance, man.
Have a dick distance?
A single fistance.
A half a dick's distance?
Yes.
Depends on the dick.
Yeah, once I'm so far away.
Nice.
What up?
That's an abominable high five.
Well, we can fix it in the edit.
We?
Yes, I'll send you my audio files of all my claps. There, use that one.
Oh, yeah, you guys need to go into the booth with me and do like 4, 5, or 10 claps
We
so we
can
can
do some real solid Foley work.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Greg, the Foley guy. Hey, we'll take care of this later. He's also here. If you're watching the video version of this pod,
Hey, don't talk to Greg. He's working.
sorry. Hey,
Sure, yeah, we don't address Greg directly. But look, I mean, we're making fun of this movie, and we're going to continue to do so. But I will say, I did actually enjoy enough of it.
It's a big step for you.
Yeah.
I feel like you were gonna finish that sentence and you didn't.
I was going to finish it with, I enjoyed enough of it to enjoy it, and I decided saying nothing would be better than that.
It's a very fun movie.
It is fun. Like I think what turned me off these movies was mostly Fast 7, which I
Mostly the fast.
Yeah, the fast part of the Furious.
I was all in on the Furiouses, but
Well,
I
like-
hated the fast.
like I guess that one was Furious 7,
Anytime they
wasn't
broke
it? It was,
45 miles an hour, it's really
Oh, no,
uncomfortable.
that's right, because it was Fast 5, Fast and Furious 6, Furious 7.
Yes,
And then the Fate
of the 8.
of the Furious.
Yeah.
But they didn't actually put the 8 in the Fate, right?
they did not.
That's such a missed opportunity. Why didn't they do that?
That's
Yeah.
a real like that. They fucked that up.
Yeah, they really screwed that up. No, when I saw it, I enjoyed Fast 5, and
Well, I think we have enough
6
spelling problems already.
That's
as a,
true. In
as
this
a society,
country?
if we make a major block, because that's what top 10 highest grossing films of all time now, isn't it?
What,
It's
Fast 8?
Yeah,
7.
Fate of the 8.
Oh, Fate of the 8, yeah. It's
Or no, 7 is top 10. I don't think 8 made it that high up. But still, if you have a major blockbuster that misspells fate in its name, we're gonna have a whole generation of people who are
don't
gonna
know how to
really. I mean, that's why I can't spell.
well, that's why you can't spell fantastic, because you think there's a 4 in the middle of it.
I do.
But no, this movie was actually pretty entertaining. Like I hated 7 because I thought it was overly long and really stupid, and I didn't
Is that
think
the submarine one?
no,
No,
8's the
that's
submarine
8.
one.
Okay.
I think 7 was the last good one in my opinion.
I don't know what's wrong with
7
you.
was the.
Did we see
It's Been a
7
Long
together?
Way.
Is 7's the long runway, right?
No,
No,
that's
six.
6.
6 is the long runway.
What's 7?
7's the one where they parachute out of the
and they
plane.
fight the bus, and it's Tony Jaa on the bus,
What?
But it's like, is it Tony Jaa?
isn't it?
I don't know.
Wait, 7's the one where they drive through the 3 hotels in.
Yeah, in Dubai.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the movie goes on for another 45 minutes, and it all ends with like The Rock shooting down a drone in LA.
Oh, it's in LA,
And Vin
yeah.
Diesel gets in that street fight with Jason Statham, who is now, of course, a hero. Like the retcon arc of that character is insane because he starts out as like
The most ruthless criminal
yeah,
in Europe.
a post-credit sting. I want to say the end of 6. Oh no,
Yeah.
that's right. What it is?
Because he's the other guy's brother.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah.
They
It's
never mention him in this one, and it is driving me insane.
So they do.
no, they don't.
No, they do. Hold on. Because I've seen this movie twice now.
But
One, shame
go
on
for
you.
it.
Shame on
Okay,
you.
so he's mentioned once when he's in the prison with his mom, Helen Mirren.
Yes.
And she says it like under her breath. She's like, "Oh, you and your brother and your sister used to always have such great schemes you would do."
I thought it was just you and your sister.
No. So that was the first time I watched it. I thought that, and the second time I listened for it and I heard his name, and you can see him in the background of the shot when because they blow up the safe. They're talking about the antics they'd get into as kids.
Oh, the Keith Moon.
Yeah, that's right. The Keith Moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you see Statham and beautiful
Vanessa Kirby. Yeah.
jumping away from the safe, and behind the safe you see the second brother.
It's Luke Evans. They didn't even bother to hire a new actor. It's just
Yeah. I
him.
was gonna say, I
it's
was
him in the
like-
background. I'm like, I'm here too.
Is Luke Evans like the first character they're gonna retcon in the Fast and Furious?
Oh, he's not the first one. No, I mean, because Deckard Shaw is the first one, who was Ian Shaw in the post-credit sting of 6.
Was he?
Yeah. So like,
But did they even mention his name?
yeah, this isn't. I'm pretty sure they mentioned his name as like Ian, but like the post-credit sting of 6 is then
Is that the?
it's the
Han.
clip from
Tokyo
Tokyo
Drift,
Drift
yeah.
when he kills
Still the
Han,
best of all
and he's
of them.
like a total dick. And then 7 opens with him like destroying that hospital just so he can go in and like talk to his brother. So he has, I don't know, like 100 different random like hospital employees just getting murdered in cold blood by these mercenaries who can go and have like a tete-a-tete with his brother.
But don't worry, in this movie they say he's not that bad of a guy.
He's not that bad of a guy. He was
Well,
framed.
yeah, he's been
no,
framed for all of
Okay,
this.
can we actually go back to that? Because like it feels like I can't figure out in the Shaw family who is the black sheep of the family.
There.
Because
So
like,
I guess technically it's Vanessa Kirby because she left the family business of being like grifters and con artists and criminals to go become an
No,
MI6
but so
agent.
did Deckard.
But yeah, Deckard Shaw was also in MI6.
Well, that's
Yeah.
true. I guess he was a black sheep that then but then got kicked out of MI6 for being a bad guy, and then his bad guy family rejected
No.
him.
No, his bad guy family that embraced him after he
But
rejected
his
goodness.
good guy sister rejected him because she worked for MI6. Also, only in movies can the two members of the same family be criminals and also work for MI6. Like, they do a very thorough fucking background check on you when you do these sort of jobs.
And also, wait, wasn't the third guy, Owen Shaw? Didn't he also work for MI6 and go rogue?
No, I don't think so.
I thought he did, because they were like, remember that entire thing where they're looking at all the people, and he's like, oh, these guys are all former special forces, and then they're like, oh, it's the British version of us.
Oh, you're right. But you're asking me to remember something from these movies,
Which is my take on this movie is I might as well have gone and done like the Maniac pills from the TV show,
Haven't
because
watched
like it just wiped my brain. Like, we got out of the movie and I was like, what just happened?
Yeah, well, because they will basically just mash 3 different movies
Here you
into
go.
one.
Owen G. Shaw is a former major in the Special
What's
Air
the G
Service.
stand for?
Glorious.
Yes.
Good.
Is a former major in the Special Air Force and a mercenary for hire.
Okay,
So he was former.
Okay, so
maybe he's still so black sheep in his family that they don't
so
even talk to him.
their mom, played by Helen Mirren, who is a shining moment in this movie.
Oh, always.
Okay, so she's a con artist and like a grifter and a criminal. All 3 of her kids went into some form of spec ops. And by the end of it, I think all 3 are now criminals, right? Wasn't that kind of the implication of the end of this movie, was that Vanessa Kirby is no longer working for MI6 and she's a criminal again?
Which just makes sense. Because, I mean, she didn't do anything wrong.
No, like, she was
Although they
framed.
they never really cleared that up, though.
Oh,
They-
also, how sloppy was that frame job? Like, this movie is like built on international espionage and like advanced technology and everyone being the smartest person. And he's like, everyone in our group is shot. We're all dead. It was Vanessa Kirby.
She
and then
did it.
and he's like, that'll do. Like,
Do we even want to try and summarize the plot of this? Actually, no, hang
Yes.
on. Shane, I want you to try and summarize
Oh
the
my
plot of this
God,
movie.
all
Because
right.
Cameron will actually give us an accurate synopsis, which is way less interesting.
okay.
No offense,
so
Cameron.
The big thing that I feel like was a problem for me was I've seen every single one of these movies, and they just assumed I knew what Etion Medical or something was.
I think it's the first time
the
we've
villain
heard
organization.
of
So
So
it
it
was
was the
like-
Fast and the Furious version of Spectre.
Yeah, I was going to say it was like Cyberpunk CVS in my opinion, but it was like like Big Pharma wants to acquire a virus so they can kill all the normies,
Yes.
and then they're going to take all the super soldiers at the time of which there is only a single person
Seemingly, yes.
and create a new human race.
Yes.
But there seems to be no explanation of how Idris Elba's character, who is shot in the head at some point, doesn't have a scar on his face.
3 times. Twice in the body, 1 in the head.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because that's how they were taught.
right.
Yes.
But how does he got shot in the head, yet there was no place where a bullet entered his body?
Well, the bottom teeth.
Oh, he got shot. That's what it was supposed to be?
I think that's my guess.
Oh, I thought that was just him justifying
Oh.
his character's terrible, like, not Cockney slang, but like just like a mumblecore, unexplainable like British accent that was just taken to the most like dirty slangy levels. Like, I don't think that's how Idris Elba actually speaks. It was like he was intensifying his British accent.
Well, because it's not a grill. It's like a weird angle. So that was my
Yeah,
guess.
it's like asymmetrical.
Right, but, like-
was he was shot in the mouth, which
That's
is
the one thing they can't regrow is teeth.
yeah.
that was also the thing. It was like, you're special ops and you're said twice in the head or once in the head and you shoot him in the mouth? Like, what?
Did we see bullet wounds on his chest either? I don't think so.
No.
I think we only see his back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like they sew his back up again at some point, and just like a metal skeleton in there.
Which is, I feel, it's odd for me to say this, but it almost feels weird for these movies to not give Idris Elba like the glory shot.
I don't
yeah,
think he
'cause
worked
he's-
out
Like,
for it.
Statham
is
doesn't
really-
have one either, I guess.
Yeah,
it's
but
only The Rock.
Yeah, but 'cause I don't think Statham works out that hard anymore. I mean, obviously, like, he's still in phenomenal shape because he's an actual genuine martial artist.
Well, actually, he's a diver.
He was an Olympic diver. You
I
can
know.
see old videos of
you know that?
Yeah,
Jason
that's so
Statham
fucking awesome.
with hair.
Yeah.
yeah, and just looking lean and sexy as fuck.
Yeah, you want to talk about a guy who accidentally fell into acting.
Yeah.
Fucking Jason Statham.
You're trying to tell me he didn't dive into acting?
Shut up.
That's fantastic. Cameron gets up and walks away. He's done.
Greg, get him back.
Yeah, but yeah, so they had this virus, and then Vanessa Kirby, MI6 agent galore, Hattie
Thought her name was Maddie the whole time.
Yeah, well, it's hard to tell through the mumbling.
This movie would do great with subtitles.
It's basically just the plot of
Oh, they have a
MI2.
lot of subtitles in the Fast and Furious font, which made me very happy. Like,
That's true. They're
is that a
consistent.
downloadable font that I can get to and write personal letters in?
Yeah, it's called FF. Yeah. And even when you go to look at the sampling, it's just the letter F.
Yeah, the style book is just the letter F and ampersands.
It's just so many Fs. It's just Fs and ampersands. And twos. But so
The A's are actually 8s.
Yeah. They got it right. It's basically just the plot of Mission Impossible 2. She injects herself with the virus so it can't get into evil hands, and they have to like cure her of the virus. And then that leads them on this like crazy hunt because
which they said has not been programmed yet, which makes me wonder like because the idea is the virus you can basically program anything into it.
Yeah. Because Eddie Marzan, Marzan.
Oh, is that the physicist?
The scientist, the multi-Nobel Award-winning scientist.
Yeah, he must be in the news a lot that he gets second win.
Yeah, and no one's ever seen or heard of him. But yeah, he designed it to be a way to develop cures. So this is what, like, I will give this general franchise credit for being really progressive in ways that other franchises aren't. But also, this is the closest we're ever going to get to a major like studio franchise having a borderline anti-vaxxer message. Because the whole point is that he created this thing as the most effective vaccine ever, like a template of which you can vaccinate any sort of disease, and that's bastardized into being a weapon to like kill people and ruin people's lives. And somewhere out there, Jenny McCarthy is like, yes, thank you. Finally, someone sees me.
Wait, they're the villain? I don't understand this movie.
Why are they trying to stop them? They're just trying to save the world.
Here's the thing: Idris Elba is stronger. He is more handsome. He is smarter than them. Why wouldn't you not be able to know what the percentage chance a punch will hit you is?
It's so ridiculous. But the two best trackers in the world apparently are what's his name? Something Shaw?
Hobbs and Shaw.
Rob Delaney and Ryan Reynolds.
Not Damien Shaw. What is it?
Deckard.
Deckard Shaw.
Dex.
And Luke Hobbs.
Come on, you can't remember Deckard and Hattie, the two most common British names you could.
Do we know the mom's name?
Mama
Shaw.
Mummy.
Hold on,
Mummy Dearest.
I still have the article up.
So, yeah, they're the two best trackers.
You got the Fast and Furious wiki open?
Oh hell yeah, I do.
They're
Fast and Furious verse?
forced to team together to track down Hattie, and then they get caught up in the whole thing. And so, look, I actually do want to spend some time talking about things we liked about this movie because it's very easy to just slug at it all the time.
True,
but there are
I
some
don't
good
think
things.
so. There's only so much bad in this movie.
Okay,
there's a lot of good.
Let's let Cameron lead the charge on this. The beacon of optimism when we're not talking Zeta on this podcast. What did you enjoy about this?
Well, I'll start with the thing that I think all of us enjoyed, which has been spoiled as of yesterday, and it's kind of sad because it's a great reveal.
Yeah,
Is there's a new member of the Fast and Furious family.
Yep.
In the form of Ryan Reynolds.
Rodney Reynolds.
It's great.
It's amazing.
Genuine surprise when he shows up.
It honestly, it feels like he walked off from another set and just read some lines and walked back to the other set.
Oh, yeah. He was like,
yeah.
I'll keep doing Deadpool here.
Yeah.
And it's going to work.
I feel like he was maybe the only one in this movie who actually had really good comedic timing.
Mm-hmm. If almost like...
I think Helen Mirren has pretty good comedic timing.
She does, yeah.
Whoever writes like the Ryan Reynolds stuff also feels like they know that they're writing for Ryan Reynolds.
I feel like he might write some of his own lines.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised because it feels like it has the same like pacing and tone for a lot of the things that he does.
Yeah.
And then the other stuff that's written for the other characters, either that or The Rock, whoever's giving The Rock his lines, he's like, no, this is what it should be. I'll just pause, and then I'll look at everybody in the room make eye contact with every single person in the room, and then I'll say something very dumb, and then just end it with "Uso."
So, it's pretty common if you're the level of like a Ryan Reynolds or a Rock, you have your own go-to punch-up writer that usually won't be credited. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like that's pretty common. Like you hear stories about that.
How do I get that job?
I know, right? I mean,
wait, is The Rock's just Kevin Hart?
I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is.
Is that why he's in every movie?
It's
He's like, if you can't put my name down, I'll be in the movie. Damn it!
Inseparable now.
Yeah.
What if Kevin Hart is actually just a muscle on The Rock that got so big that it became sentient and detached itself.
It's
and
the
is
episode
now-
of South Park where you learn about Bono is just a giant piece of shit.
Yeah, exactly. Kevin Hart is just now a sentient former like growth off of Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
He used to have triceps in the back, and now they're just biceps in the back because he had lost one of the muscles.
Exactly. One of them just ran off and now has like an incredibly successful comedy career.
I thought Kevin Hart was fun in this. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I find him
As the other reveal,
Yeah,
you
the other
kind
like
of already
surprise
mentioned,
cameo.
yeah.
I find him more miss than hit. That being said, I really liked him in Jumanji, and for me, he is consistently the funniest thing in the Jumanji 2 trailer. Like him doing a Danny Glover impression just somehow hits a very specific comedic funny bone for me, and it really works. I think he's genuinely talented. I don't always like his shtick.
I just feel like
Well, he's just doing so much. It's oversaturated.
I think he's best used sparingly, which is not necessarily an insult. Like I think there is something to be said about the folks who know how to come in and just be really good supporting cast.
he's one of my favorite parts in 40-Year-Old Virgin, like his first kind of movie
Oh,
appearance that I remember.
Movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
He's the guy that's trying to buy the speakers at the start, and he just wants them for free. And he's like, I'm gonna take that for the price of On the House.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and he's like in it for what, a minute or 2 minutes?
Yeah.
And he's out. And it's kind of like this, where he should be in it for 2 minutes, and he's in it for 4.
Yeah.
And he's doing the same thing over and over again, and it hits the first time and maybe the second time, but then they keep on going back and playing this joke
keep
long,
doing the
and
same
you're
thing.
like, oh, all right,
well, it's
we're
also a
done
joke I feel like we've seen before. I feel like he did the same joke in Jumanji, where he's like trying to mimic The Rock's like tone.
Like his badassness.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one of okay, we're trying to talk about things that I like about this movie, but
No, don't limit yourself.
Yeah, one of the
here. Spread your wings, baby.
I think one of the problems with this is that in this film there are no low status characters. Like Ryan Reynolds is like the lowest status character just because he is deliberately like he's not even bad at what he does. He's actually like I think good, but he is self-effacing. He's like self-defeating, skewering. Like he's a tick off, a beat off from everyone around him.
Well, he's low status who thinks he's high status. I
Exactly.
think that's the difference.
Well, that's
no
other
one
characters
thinks they're low status.
Oh, that's exactly it. Yeah. Whereas like, even Kevin Hart's character is set up to be kind of a low status character because he's just the air marshal trying to like stop this admittedly like pretty entertaining, like verbal banter, sparring match going on between Rock and Statham. But then they're like, oh yeah, he's actually like a Delta Ops guy and he's a total badass on his own. You're like, well, doesn't that kind of subvert the joke of him being just an air marshal? Like,
Right.
didn't you just undercut your own
Yeah, because
purpose?
what I was gonna say is like it's not that there's no characters that are low status. It's the characters never change status because they're all high status. They think they're high status, and the fact that they have in their contract that they can't lose a fight is at no point are they ever in peril because they're like, no, we're gonna figure this out. And there's never a moment of like, will they or won't they? Like the machine breaks and he's like, nah, I'll get somebody to fix it.
Yeah.
And it's like, but wait, we never thought you weren't gonna be able to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think maybe that's what I haven't enjoyed as much about The Rock in more recent years. Is I feel like at one point he used to play characters that subverted his archetype, and now he only leans super hard into it.
Well, it's because John Cena stole all those roles.
That's true. Now John Cena is like occupied that
Oh
space
my
and
god,
like
John
kicking
Cena, The
ass
Rock's
at it.
like a good version of The Rock's market correction.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Like John Cena is where The Rock was 10 years ago now.
And I think that
Yeah, I
makes
think
sense.
cock blockers, like you can
Oh,
easily
yeah, he's
see
supposed
The
to be
Rock
or
in that
Train
movie.
wreck.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Like those are the kind of roles The Rock used to take on,
Well,
and I miss those roles. I think he is genuinely really funny.
I think he was great in Fast 5 because his character also experienced like the second act peril where he's like he loses his whole team and it's his fault.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, he messed up and something happens and now he has to redeem himself, and he redeems himself by allying himself with the people.
By letting Vin Diesel be the hero.
Yeah,
Yeah,
by
exactly,
letting
yeah.
Vin Diesel get away by I'll give you 24 hours. But then in this one, you're like,
Which now we know you can get anywhere in the world.
He's like,
Yeah, just no
in
Kevin Hart.
in 3 hours.
yeah. Oh, can we talk about the timeline of this movie where
Yeah.
this is like what is it? Al Pacino 88 minutes.
Yeah.
Where most of the time we're watching like real time of this movie happen. Like we're in Ukraine, now we're in Russia, now we're in Samoa, and we only had 72 hours in total.
I feel like when Vanessa Kirby initially injected herself with this virus, I feel like they said something about her having 36 hours before it was going to go.
72.
It was 72.
Yes.
Okay, so 3 days.
So this movie happens
No,
over.
so
it's
it
like
was-
2 sleeps. This movie is
Yeah.
2 sleeps.
So it was when she was being interrogated. That's when she said she only has 36 hours left.
Okay, so at that point, The Rock had already made it over to London.
Yes.
So wait, he goes to Russia, Ukraine, and Samoa, and she doesn't die in 36 hours?
Yes.
Yeah.
When does everybody sleep? When is
On
it
the
night?
plane.
They slept on the plane.
They slept on the plane one time. What about the Ukraine to Samoa flight?
That's a lot of time to
like a
sleep.
14-hour flight.
Yeah.
So they flew when?
It was in a really fast plane. It was,
Oh,
it was, a,
right,
mil-
it
it
was
was, a,
Kevin
mil-
Hart's-
it was, it was a military
It was
jet.
his fast. No, because they said it was a stolen cargo plane.
That was a cargo plane. Yeah.
Well, so with kind of jumping back to the Kevin Hart stuff, I thought when he said he was a Delta, I thought that was the joke, was that he was trying to get their respect by just throwing out a random thing.
Oh no, I took it at face value. Like,
Well,
I
yeah,
think,
I think
he was
I think-
actually part of
I
Delta
think
Force.
now, but I think it would have been funnier if he was like, "Oh yeah, I was Delta." It's like, "Oh, do you know so and so? Like, you know, one of my
Yeah.
buddies was on Delta." It's like, "Oh no, I was on the other team."
yeah,
I
it
was on
was
the
like,
other.
it was like, oh man, like Delta fraternity, but like there was, there was
Yeah.
ROTC on campus. We used to hang out a lot.
Tri
yeah.
Lambda.
Yeah, I was like backup for Delta. Like I was the guy the Deltas would call.
Yeah.
Like I was that
Echo.
guy. Yeah.
Delta Airlines.
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, and I think maybe that's what it was missing. It was missing those moments where the status of characters were changing, like you said, or like
nothing
subverted.
ever subverted your expectations of this movie. Whereas
Yeah.
in the other Fast and Furious, like
No, the expectation was I thought they were gonna die, and they didn't.
because they can't. Well, because that's
They fell off a cliff in a car attached to a falling helicopter.
and everyone in the
And then
helicopter.
stand
I was
up.
gonna say, all of a sudden they landed
Yeah.
head first into a waterfall.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like, oh, the car's like tumbling. It was just like straight directly down.
But
and
don't worry.
every single person got up.
all
Everyone was
the
good.
henchmen die, but don't worry. If you are given a character with a name, you survive these crashes.
Or a defining haircut from that.
oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Or an Uso.
Or an Uso.
Yeah, Usos
Yeah.
never die. That's
But-
the rule of movie making.
Like I think, because at its core, there is something really good here. Actually,
Yeah.
Like it's a modern buddy cop, and I think the buddy cop formula still works really well if you have great leads. And I will say that The Rock and Statham do have really good chemistry together. I think sometimes the dialogue wasn't necessarily great, but I still found even some of the lesser written jokes funny because it was them saying it to each other and it was their delivery and their timing. Like all of those things are actually pretty solid.
All three of them are great on screen together with Vanessa
Oh, yeah,
Kirby
Vanessa
included.
Kirby
Like
in
she
there
was
too.
awesome.
Yeah, no, yeah, she's
And she's
really
just
funny.
a straight up fucking badass.
She is.
Like I was talking to one of my coworkers about this. They didn't like pull any of her punches. She was a full like straight like it wasn't the sexy fighting of ScarJo of Black Widow. It's like she's elbowing people in the face.
Yeah. She's tough. She gets bloody. She gets beat up.
She slams bottles against The Rock's face.
Yeah. Well, and I think
Like she did the most damage to The Rock than anyone in this movie.
actually that's
Like
true.
he bled
Yeah,
after
he-
that fight.
that
I don't
fi-
think he bled any
So
time
that
after
fight
that.
confused me so much because they were like, we're both not trying. And then he just like picks her up. And that's like the part where like I never at no point did I ever think that she was going to get away from The Rock.
yeah.
And that was the thing, like you said, they had such great chemistry on screen. But the only time that any character could ever show weakness was when they were having any verbal sparring. But the verbal
Yeah.
sparring was still always one-upsmanship.
Well,
Like,
exactly. It's very American in its style, which is like it's funny because I'm putting you down. It's like this constant roast battle going back and forth,
right.
which like it's admittedly sometimes it does work kind of well. It's the moment where they're trying to get out of London and Statham has hooked them all up with fake IDs. And he's put The Rock in like this very, very tight like zip up sweater vest combo and hat.
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
that's a funny little thing they threw in there.
What was his name? Mike Oxmall.
Mike Oxmall, Michael
yeah, that's-
Oxmall. Yeah, it's like it's dumb, but it does kind of work actually.
And like you said, it's based on their performances. They make those jokes
Yeah.
that if the joke is a B, they make it a B plus or
Exactly,
they make it an A minus.
and I think that's what like carries the movie through is like the chemistry of the three leads, and also Idris Elba's really good too.
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
think he has
I think
good
he had-
chemistry with them.
I think he had the worst dialogue of anyone, but
Yeah.
he's still Idris Elba, so he's
Well,
awesome.
and he knew
What do
what
you mean?
movie he
I'm the
was
bad
in.
guy is not good dialogue.
that was
But,
the,
like,
the
but-
first line of the movie.
But for some reason, when it's coming from him and that version of him as that character, it works.
And also, just in this movie universe, the dialogue is them. It's all exposition or
Yeah.
all breaking the fourth wall. They might as well just be looking at the people and be like, "This is the stuff that you say before you have a big fight."
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll see you in the future.
Well, I think I figured it out. So how Fast and Furious works is you should be able to understand the movie while revving a car or revving a motorcycle.
I like that,
And
yeah.
if you can still understand it, then it passes the Fast and Furious
Oh,
test.
also the other rule is every car has NOS.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or what did he call it? He was like, fire that milkshake or something
Oh, no,
like
it
that.
was the moonshine.
Moonshine,
Hit that
oh, yeah.
moonshine,
I
yeah.
prefer that it would be called
I
milk.
loved that
He's like, give me the
moment.
milkshakes.
Yeah. Well, so actually, I mean, it's funny you talk about like you can understand the plot even with the motorcycle revving. That's part of the reason these movies are so successful is that they actually translate really well internationally because they
Can't wait for the Simone mark to see this.
I know, right?
Please, once again, it's the Samoan.
Samoan,
market.
sorry.
Yeah.
It was like The Rock was like practicing that for hours, and still it felt so.
I mean, he is Samoan.
I
so
know,
let's
but it
give him
feels like
credit.
it's still like everyone else was so smooth. Like you could tell that they actually spoke in that dialect and everything.
In that moment, it did feel clunky when he said it that way. It felt like a little bit too deliberate.
Right.
But like these movies do translate really well internationally because the plots don't really matter. It's all about like the action and
Yeah,
kind of
I mean,
like
it's the
chemistry and-
Conan formula.
the what?
Conan the Barbarian formula.
Oh, okay, right, yeah.
Conan O'Brien.
Conan
formula.
Yeah,
O'Brien
Conan
formula.
O'Brien formula, yeah.
You just do a weird dance, act like there's a string attached to your hips, and then you're set. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's part of the reason they're so successful is that you don't really need to know the previous mythology. You're not having to remember stuff from previous movies because it's impossible to do so. It's really just we're going to take you along on a ride, and they're more often than not decently good at building that ride together.
They also are so good at doing like the Chekhov's gun situation where
Yeah.
everything that you are going to see later, they're going to show you the first. So then you see it and you go, ooh, like it's like
Yeah.
it's giving you credit for watching the
Yeah.
movie.
Like,
I did it. I did it.
I saw them bury those barrels and now they're exploding.
yay me, I figured it all out.
Oh, I've got no man's land. This is a thing.
Like, and look, my criteria for whether a movie's good or not is does it know what it wants to be and does it succeed at it? And I think that's why I more or less enjoyed this one. I more or less enjoyed 8. That's one of the reasons I didn't enjoy 7 is I found 7 very self-serious and overly long, and I felt like it lost target of just being an entertaining action movie.
Okay.
And these latter two, although they have no logical cohesion with the beginning of this
You
franchise.
think he's gonna tell us all about it when he sees us again? Because it's been a long day.
Fuck you.
I hate you so much.
This is pretty entertaining for what it is. I think if it has one major flaw is the budget was too big.
Okay.
Yeah. We had this
Wait,
conversation.
I have not had this
Yeah,
conversation.
so Cameron and I talked about the
Okay,
Creepy Ass
okay,
Theater.
sorry.
So take this movie, right? This movie probably had, I can try and look it up, but I would estimate it probably had somewhere around a $250 to $300 million budget.
Okay, let's play over under $245 million.
Okay.
Wait,
Cameron?
are we not including advertising? Or is this including
No,
advertising?
we're talking just production budget, not P&A.
Oh, I'm gonna say.
Print and advertisement for those.
Yeah,
people.
I'm gonna
Thank
say 165.
I'll say 210.
Okay, so it at least according to Wikipedia, 200.
Okay, so I win.
Okay, so you no. He said 200.
We're not doing prices right roll because get out
Oh,
of here.
sorry.
You said like 135.
So 165.
Okay, but you said 200. I said 250. So I overshot it. Okay, so it was
I
$200
said
million.
6 families.
Okay, if this movie had half the budget, I think it'd be twice as good.
Why?
Because as I'm watching it, I'm like, oh my god, there is so much money on screen, but that's not always necessarily a good thing, right? So, good example is when they go to Moscow to try and find like that blood diffuser machine to save the sister.
Can I don't want to be like, a negative person
Yeah.
on this movie. What happened? Why were they in that house? Like, okay, here's my only question. Those women that Jason Statham seemed to know.
Yes.
Well, they're planning the next spinoff.
Right.
Well, that's a whole. That's something we're gonna get
Fast
to.
and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw presents.
Guess the spinoff.
Yes,
Present
Statham's girlfriend.
Sexy Russian mobster /
Yeah.
thieves. But it seemed like they were in a house that was not theirs.
Correct. They
Right.
said that.
But they immediately went to a in-station, in-house, touch panel that they all seem to know how to navigate.
Yes.
You're trying to tell me that wasn't password protected or
They
wouldn't have been in
They're all
that
professional
house?
hackers.
Yeah.
Everyone in this movie is a professional hacker.
They're like, yeah, we just kidnapped this guy because this is his house. Let's go to his control center.
Well, so
Is there a woodpecker outside? What is that?
yes.
Oh, that guy's building a new car.
Hang on, let me close the window.
No.
I'm sorry. I know it's hot in here, but I can't hear this.
So if I were to try and guess what all that was, so they said he's a Russian mobster. I would guess he's connected to Etrion in some way.
Oh, like obliquely.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like he was like a financier.
I was gonna say you're giving them a lot of credit.
Yeah.
Yes.
He could have been. There could have been some sort of connection there.
Yeah, so his computer was already set up into their system.
Oh,
so like they
okay.
specifically stole his. They robbed his house because one, he had all the equipment, and two, he was already in the network.
Totally. Okay, that totally makes sense because
that's nowhere in the movie, but let's say that makes sense.
No, that would make sense because my
You
issue
didn't see
was
the bug in the bottom right corner that said in like asterisk like he also worked for the company.
because I was like, oh, did he just like catch them at a bad time? They're like, oh, sorry, we're in the middle of a robbery, but like we can talk.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. But yeah, so when they get to that Russian facility, like those are all like huge. You can tell there's like sets they've built, or if they're not sets, they have drastically modified whatever space they're in. Because like it doesn't look like just some random old warehouse somewhere, right? It's like, oh, this is a set. Like they spent a shitload of money putting in like all of these crates and like cubicles, and all of the cars in it have tons of modifications to them. And there's lights everywhere, and everyone has custom clothing and custom guns and all sort of stuff. It's like there are very few things in this movie that didn't have to have an additional cost to modify them in some way visually.
Mm-hmm.
Like everywhere they go, it's an expensive looking set. And I think it all just comes down to like they want this movie to gross $1 billion, somewhere in that ballpark. So they're going to give it a $200 million budget, another $200 million spent on advertising, so that like theoretically then it makes that sort of money. It's like this idea that to make that kind of level of money, you have to spend that level of money. And I think in doing so, everything just felt overdone. Like imagine this same basic plot structure. Like it's just Hobbs and Shaw are two trackers. They have a history. They don't really get along very well. They have to track down the sister. Even if you keep the virus element there, like make it just a normal virus. Like do what they did in fucking Mission Impossible. It doesn't have to be like this crazy bioengineered virus. The villain.
I'll be honest. That was not the thing that really slowed me down. That the virus was a super virus.
But it's like
a normal
but
virus.
It speaks to
I mean, that's the best post-credit bug too. Is like, there's another super virus.
It's a super duper virus.
crazy virus.
Yeah, that was great. That was like they made fun of their own writing. It's like it doesn't burn your insides; it burns your outsides.
But it's everything had to be that bigger. Like these characters have been treated like superheroes basically because they'll survive anything from the last 5 movies. So of course the only thing they can go up against is an actual super soldier. And
Well,
imagine,
the Rock even makes that joke because we said at the beginning of the movie,
Yeah.
this franchise started with stealing DVD players. The Rock has a line in this movie, and I think I have it word for word, is I've already saved the world 4 times.
Yes, they both allude multiple times to how many times they've saved the world.
Right.
Yes.
And so imagine you de-scale all of this, right? It's
That's not the Rock's forte, though.
But like that's part of
He's
my
already
problem.
saved the world.
Like that's part of my problem with this is that it feels unnecessarily overblown, and rather than just relying on the chemistry of your leads and having really good supporting actors and having, I mean, David Leitch is a really fantastic action director. He was one of the co-directors of John Wick. He did Atomic Blonde, which I think has like
Awesome.
on par with John Wick in terms of action choreography.
Definitely, yeah.
And you see bits of that here. Like imagine if
that's why Vanessa Kirby was so good in action. They probably
Yeah.
had the same trainer.
Yeah, exactly. And they had the same stunt crew, like the same stunt performers. So I'm pretty sure that the Vanessa Kirby stunt performer is Heidi Moneymaker, who is also Scarlett Johansson's stunt double.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so
cool.
Yeah, she knows her shit. She's awesome. So like imagine all this just gets detuned a little bit, and you're really like keeping a much more simple plot, but you're really leaning into the chemistry of the characters, and you're not worried about doing these crazy facilities blowing up, CGI towers falling down. You're actually doing real car stunts. You're not doing a CGI McLaren under 2 CGI
Trucks
with a CGI motorcycle, like because they've done that stunt before.
Right.
Like in the original movie, they actually drove, it was like a Honda Civic or something like that, underneath a semi. They did that for real. That is a really dangerous stunt. And it's really impressive.
You're trying to tell me
National
they didn't
Lampoon's
do that?
Vacation
No, they
did
did.
it.
They didn't do that in real life.
They didn't do it this time.
You were trying to tell me
Yeah.
Idris Elba wasn't on that.
He wasn't on that motorcycle, that Transformer motorcycle.
Then he like grabbed the back of the spinning, like he didn't, but it looked like he grabbed like the back of the spinning wheel and just get snaked between
He did.
the
That's
thing.
basically all. Yeah.
I will say, that was a stunt that even though I obviously knew it was fake, I kind of was like visually excited by it.
I mean, it's kind of clever, but again, just imagine all these things being done for real.
Right.
Well, so
100%.
here's my example for you. Death Race with Jason Statham.
Okay, yeah.
From 12, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
That's a movie. It was $50 million.
Yeah.
And it has not equal action scenes, but still huge action numbers in that movie. Have you seen Death Race?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yeah, it's entertaining. It's
Yeah,
fun.
it's good.
Mm-hmm.
But it also at this point now it's like, where do you go next? They fought a character they called.
moon.
No, it's like everyone jokes that it's like the next Fast and Furious has to be in space, but like we're getting close.
We're gonna get there.
Because if they are fighting a guy who calls himself Black Superman, how do you fight somebody else?
Yeah.
Black Batman.
Black Batman. There you go. But I think
He's got black kryptonite.
No!
Oh, I just realized.
Yeah, I just got that too.
So, because there's that line, it's like, oh, well, like, ready for the kryptonite, and what does he smash Idris Elba against?
A rock.
The Rock.
Oh my god, no.
Just figured that out.
Oh,
But yeah,
I'll have to take the rest of this podcast off.
I know, it's so bad.
Oh,
but just
my God.
imagine bringing all that stuff down to like a more realistic level and just
Like, I'm so excited for you to pitch Fast and Furious. What if they did it in the 60s? Like, no, I know it's like a Fast and Furious genre film.
But like, I think that's part of the problem is that they have leaned so far into the genre that I think when they do that, they lose sight of what kind of works in these franchises, which is like, when it started out, it was actual stunts. It was the chemistry of the leads. It was kind of more just grounded storytelling. The first movie is just a remake of Point Break with cars.
Right. But then that's like, well, all franchises. Like, my take on John Wick 3 is John Wick 1 was so awesome because practical stunts, it's very small world, all that kind of stuff. But now in John Wick 3, he has to go to 700 different places.
Yeah.
And like, at a certain point, or he meets the king of the kings in the middle of the desert. Like, before it was like, oh man, these are all things a person really could survive.
Yeah.
And in John Wick 3, he tries to kill himself in the desert in order to find somebody and then just chops his finger off.
Some of that didn't
So
work
it's like
quite
for
as well.
this, you're like, where can they, like, they have to keep doing that, but then they unnecessarily raise the stakes. Like in the after credit sequence where he calls the police on Jason Statham, and so instead of Jason Statham's going to escape, and he's facing off like against 40 police officers. You're like, why are we raising
Also,
the stakes here?
Armed police officers in the UK. It's like that's a special branch they deploy. Like normal UK cops don't carry guns.
Don't carry guns, yeah.
But everyone in this movie, despite being set in London, carries a gun.
Yes.
Also, it was actually filmed in Glasgow.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was. So I heard that reference on another podcast, and as I'm watching it, I've been to Glasgow, and I was like, oh, I actually recognize this part of town.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so my question for you guys is if Fast and Furious could have a team up with any other film.
Jesus Christ.
Friends, but a movie.
Well, we'll say any other buddy cop franchise.
The other guys.
I mean, they're gonna do it. Transformers. This is what's gonna happen
I was
eventually.
going to say
the Italian
Transformers.
Job.
Yeah,
That's true.
We
There's
already
like
know it's part of the Italian Job.
Yeah,
Apparently it's a continuation of the Italian Job universe.
He has the
I'll be
same
honest,
car.
that wasn't what I thought they were going to do, but
Yeah.
it makes sense. Oh, that or like I'm surprised there wasn't a car from like the Transporter, because that was like Jason
Okay,
Statham's
see-
earlier movies.
Again, like the first Transporter movie, all done like actual, very practically, like relying on his martial art capabilities and actual drivers and actual cars. Much, much better. I'm just sorry, guys. I'm just.
Well,
very
wasn't
old.
also the Italian Job was all like practical effects and actual driving, and that was what made it so great.
It was a practical Ed Norton, which is very rare nowadays.
That's true. Yeah, it's mostly CGI and Norton. It's. I think this is like what I respect about, say, the John Wick franchise is that to your point, like it got bigger, but mostly it went deeper into its own mythology, and I think in doing so it gets complicated. And the stakes must necessarily be raised. But their way of doing that is giving us different kinds of action sequences we've seen before, but it hasn't really relied on CGI heavy stuff, I would say, up until the very final moment of John Wick 3, which I guess spoiler for John Wick 3, but he falls outside the building and it's like a CGI dummy of him bouncing along like a bunch of fire escapes.
Right.
Like up to that point,
Hey, Jackie would have done it.
he would have.
Jackie Chan would have done it for real.
That's what this franchise needs. It needs Jackie Chan, although at this point I think he can't do that many stunts.
I mean,
anymore.
Donnie Yen,
I was gonna
Is that
say,
sure
yeah.
like a Donnie Yen or
who's also kind of getting up there in it. He's like 45 or 50.
yeah, or like the guys from the Raid.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. That would be so awesome.
Yeah, because they've been popping up in places here and there. But they
John
popped
Wick
up
3.
in John Wick 3. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, I think I would love to see them refocus on just kind of better filmmaking, not just rely on getting bigger and crazier and doing everything CGI.
Did you see, going on a quick tangent, Movie Insider put out a video this week of all the practical effects that went into that scary movie that just came out?
Oh, Tales Scary Stories.
Yeah, Scary Stories, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And it's fucking awesome.
I should check that out. Actually,
It's like a 5-minute video that the Insider put out. Del Toro's in it a lot, talking about like
makes sense.
You know, a lot of the monsters you only had a single photo, a single drawing of.
Yeah.
And so how do you kind of bring that into a full 3D character? How does it move? How does it, what does it do? And it's really cool to see, like, of every genre, horror is kind of the one that still sticks with practical the most.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's fucking awesome, like, especially in what it shows in this kind of quick movie. What's the word?
Vignette.
Sure.
Little featurette.
It was Tony Jaa on the bus.
It was Tony Jaa on the bus. Okay.
So yeah, I would love to see like a Donnie Yen or something like that where you can bring it back to realistic.
Yeah. Now, Cameron, what franchise do you want to smash it together with?
Oh, my first thought was Men in Black.
I mean, it's
like I was like, that's crazy, and then I was like, no, it's not.
Yeah,
It's not crazy anymore.
You don't want to see them race a spaceship?
I'm like Starship Troopers at this point. Like,
yeah, that's what's gonna happen. They're gonna have a space race.
Marvel.
Oh no! Super Troopers.
Oh my god.
Okay, fine. Actually, that would be so funny.
Vin Diesel getting pulled over by Ramathorn. I would.
If they would just do that,
that.
it's like a super short Comic-Con video.
Oh,
that'd be the
like-
funniest thing
Like
ever.
the Chris Hemsworth as Thor with the roommate kind of
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
That would be so good.
Is them driving through Canada and getting pulled over.
I would love that.
We got to pitch to somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. But okay, like I feel like just the inevitability of this movie is you start talking shit on it. But the one thing I want to bring up is what I mentioned earlier. This franchise actually does make pretty big overtures to be progressive in ways that others don't. So you go back even to, I think Fast 5 is a pretty good starting point on that. Obviously, you still have, at the time, Paul Walker being, one of the main characters. But then most of that rest of that cast is actually really diverse. And although they are getting better-ish with their female characters, they have still had a lot of women in their movies too that aren't just there to be ogled at. Like I would say that this movie had more male beefcake in it than female beefcake.
Oh,
Or
yeah,
what's
for sure.
what's female beefcake?
Why are you looking at me?
You two are straight. You tell me what it's called. I don't know.
What? You're straight.
Wait. You're. I thought this was Gay It Forward.
Yeah. What podcast are we on?
Get It Forward presents Hobbs and Shaw.
Gay and forward. It has to be an ampersand.
But I mean, there's I'd say one kind of like gratuitous butt shot when they're walking to the club in the opening sequence.
Oh yeah, they do like a long hold on that girl wearing like
a weird
knight armor.
metal armor thing.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's mostly like focusing more on the male characters. Like we did not get enough Idris Elba beefcake. But like, I mean, I'm sorry, but that whole moment when all like the shirtless Samoan guys and Pacific Islanders are doing their
Their haka.
the war chant. I'm like,
I
can we
love
just-
haka so much.
Can we just do this for 2 hours? But can we get a little bit more?
I honestly was distracted by the subtitles being the same
Yeah.
font for so much of the movie. I kept on being like, ooh, if I was creating a style book, what would the L look like?
What does the L look like in the font?
And the font. Foot and foot.
Yeah, but I think this movie, Vanessa Kirby's character is on par as capable as the male characters, sometimes even more so. She's not overly sexualized. They don't overly sexualize.
She's a professional hacker on
Yeah.
top of it all.
Yeah.
They also don't push the romance thing. Like you think they're
No.
going to push the romance thing, and then they kind of take the foot off the gas
Yeah.
pedal right when you think they would put it
like
on it.
when they're setting up the character arc for The Rock about how his daughter doesn't look at my family tree and it's got 2 branches on it. Like, oh, I know where this is going. I really expected at the end it was like, oh, now Vanessa Kirby is with them. It's like this new little mini family.
Right.
I liked they didn't do that.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, like it alludes them having a romantic relationship, but it doesn't make that a prize at the end of it. That's not part of like the denouement of the whole thing. It's like the wrap up of like, oh, they're together now.
I also thought that was interesting. Like, I do think it's kind of more lesser, but with The Rock being like a single father,
Yeah.
and it's never like we're damaged because we don't have a mother. It's like he's just a single father and
Yeah.
he's a great parent.
Yeah, and he is a really good dad. Like
Yeah.
he has a really good relationship daughter he's looking out for. Like,
He has no alarm on his phone so we can call her. I assume my guess was that was for the time change.
oh, that would make sense. Yeah.
Because he's in London now.
When the alarm goes
okay,
off.
that
Yeah.
makes sense.
But it's like, Vanessa Kirby's character is actually given real shit to do. I mean, I do want to talk a little bit about that weird moment with the team of like the female Fury team or whatever that breaks into the Russian billionaire's house and it's a bunch of arms dealers. That felt a little bit forced.
Their clothing is not conducive to being good thieves.
Yeah.
The lead there, and I'm looking up her name because she was also in.
She looks very familiar.
She was in Baby Driver.
Was she?
Oh yeah, she's John Hamm's girl in Baby Driver.
Yeah, and I mean, Isa Gonzalez.
Yes.
Who's again also unbelievably gorgeous and good in this too. But like that, I mean, I liked they introduced this team. There's no commentary on that being like this group of like female assassins or female like armed duos, whatever. They're not that sexualized. She's a little bit. She's like wearing kind of like some sort of weird like Victoria's Secret thing under a blazer. I don't know. But there's not commentary on it. Like they're just there and they're good at what they do. The mom's just there and she's like breaking through handcuffs in prison and like trying to escape and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So they're good at that. And I liked a lot that they set the finale in Samoa. Like I think that is a particular cultural group, you know, Pacific Islanders, that isn't seen in a lot of huge movies at this level.
And it's definitely getting more and more. I mean, with The Rock leaning so much more into that culture, with Taika Waititi coming up in power, we're getting that Pacific
Jason
Islander.
Momoa too. I mean, their version of Aquaman, you know, is reminiscent of that. And so I liked. I mean, because they fell into the trope like, oh, we got to get off the grid. Oh, we'll go to the one place no one will find us. It just happens to be where I'm from. But I liked they brought in that group of characters that you don't often get.
And
a
they did
chance
it the
to
right
see.
way.
The wrestlers.
The only thing
that group of characters.
I must say the thing I did like what you said about the female like Russian thieves and Helen Mirren and everything was it was nice when they didn't spend so much time doing exposition and being like and when they came back to Samoa it was kind of nice because it felt like we didn't have to know too much. And then he was like, I actually betrayed my father, and this used to be a chop shop, and it's now not a chop shop, and all that. And it's like we don't need all of these walk and talks to get us to where we are, because you can do the Russian thieves thing, and I'll just buy it. I'll just go, oh, Jason Statham kisses this girl, and everyone's like, all right, they know each other, we're good.
Yeah, they have some sort of relationship.
Great, and we don't need to know anything else about it. Let's move on to the next thing.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem is when it's those two leads and like the whole movie is built around like their persona. I think they overload those characters with too much backstory and exposition and arcs and stuff like that. And I mean, I guess they felt it necessary to incorporate the family element into this. Like it's all about family. Didn't really need to be there. It wasn't necessarily clunky in the way they did it, but it did feel like it added on maybe about 30 minutes to a movie that would have been like a lot tighter and faster and more fun without it.
I just feel like all these kind of action movies nowadays, and maybe it's just because there's so many stars and there's so much money, they just need to be longer. Give me that movie in 110 minutes or less.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Give me a 100-minute movie and I'm so more excited, and I'm not ever looking at my watch. I'm just not exhausted by listening to these people have to tell me their sob stories.
Well, yeah, as I brought up talking with these guys last night, after the big, explosion at the plant, that's an ending.
Yeah, like that could be an ending right there. But.
Yeah, like that the movie could have faded to black and like, okay, cool, we did it, great.
Right.
And then like, because I forgot about all the trailers, I forgot about all the Samoa stuff, and it ends and like, oh shit, we got rid of the bad guy, we blew up the vicinity. We accidentally broke the machine on the way of doing it.
Oh, darn
so we gotta go get someone to fix it.
Yeah. Who's the only person that can fix a 2-time Nobel Prize winner's machine? My Uso.
My brother.
My chop shop brother.
Have you heard of the term what is it called? Trinity syndrome?
No.
Okay, my coworker just brought this up to me, and it's basically the idea of starting a film or a franchise with a strong, powerful female character that has to kind of lose her power for the lesser male character to take the lead.
Okay, yeah.
So named after Blade Trinity.
Yes, absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah. Another Ryan
totally
Reynolds.
Shortchanged Jessica Biel.
Yes. Obviously named after Trinity from Matrix, but
that's a very good point.
The what's her face in Lego Movie.
Wild Child.
Sure. Obviously, I'm not helping with this syndrome because I can't remember her name.
Yeah.
But I can't remember anyone's name in that besides Batman.
Vanessa Kirby's character is named Hattie. That's my contribution.
The quick description is for an ordinary...
Wild Style.
Thank you. For the ordinary dude to be triumphant...
Traditional first name.
Yeah. The strong female character has to entirely disappear into subversive trophy character mode. This is Trinity Syndrome a la The Matrix, a hugely capable woman who never once becomes independent, significant, or exciting as she is in the introduction.
Nope, that's fair. Yeah, because
How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of like kid animated movies, weirdly.
Well, I think that's a byproduct of good intentions being hampered by storytelling archetypes, right? It's like,
The list they had is How to Train Your Dragon, Lego Movie, Hobbit, Desolation of Smog, Riddick, Star Trek Into Darkness, Pacific Rim, Oblivion, and The Dissolve.
yeah.
What happens in Pacific Rim?
Is it one or? I mean, so in the
That's probably Rising.
it's
or
part yeah
Uprising.
because there's
I
the
haven't seen
adopted
that.
daughter of Idris Elba who gets partnered with Charlie Hunnam's character in the first one.
No, so it is that. It is that then.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, I can totally see that. And I think what you have there is basically like, oh, we're still falling into film
damsel
story.
in distress
Yeah,
kinda.
like ultimately this is going to lead to a damsel in distress point. So to balance that out, we're going to introduce this character as being a total badass.
Right.
But then not actually follow through on it in any sort of meaningful way.
Yes.
Yeah.
The guy has to find his power through kind of the vacuum that she left.
Yeah, it's still
But in that vacuum, she lost all her power.
yeah, it's still female characters being there exclusively to drive forward a male character's story. I mean, one could make an argument a little bit in this even that's one of the reasons why Vanessa Kirby is there is to like motivate and to give arc to Jason Statham's character. But I will say that she is like consistently powerful all the way through.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, they even make the joke on the plane where Statham's like, "You're only here because you want to sleep with my sister."
oh yeah,
And he's like, "No, like I said, saved the world 4 times.
yeah.
Got to get that 5 Pete."
Speaking of Jason Statham's character arc, when him and Vanessa Kirby are talking right before the battle, maybe I took this wrong, but doesn't he kind of seem to indicate that he's like, once everything's all good, we can just leave. Like, we can kind of abandon everybody.
Yeah, I think that's what he wanted to do.
But then she never says, like, no, we should stay.
She gives like the head nod. Like,
Yeah, they're like,
I hear ya.
right.
Uso.
So at some point they were going to, like, their plan was never refuted that they were just going to, like, dip on everybody.
I think what he was saying is, if it goes south. So like if they break through the front line, then we have I have this car set up on the side. You stand near there, and then if something happens to our plan, we're just gonna get the fuck out of here.
Right, but then that's, like...
It wasn't like once everything's done, we're gonna get out.
Right.
It's
I somehow missed all of this.
But that just seems like a weird... Well, yeah, because also the movie serves as an absolute memory wipe.
yeah. It's like Superman's kiss.
what?
But
What?
in Superman 2, like kisses Lois, and all of a sudden she magically forgets that
There's a
he's
second
Clark
Superman?
Kent. Yeah,
When did the first one come out?
the 70s.
What?
Oh, God damn it.
Sorry, I'm not a DC guy. I'm just kidding.
Neither am I.
Get off our podcast. Sorry,
Take that, this podcast.
I interrupted you for a bit that did not land. Please continue.
No, it landed. You're doing great.
I hate you. Wait a minute. How have I become the low status character?
Gary, put in some laughs here, man.
Don't talk to Gary.
Sorry, Gary.
His name's not even Gary. It's Greg.
Maybe Gary Greg's the lowest status character
Yeah.
here.
There's 2 of them. We had to hire a second Foley person.
because I was talking to Greg, so Gary now's the other one.
Cameron, what have I told you about hiring interns? We cannot pay them.
Yeah, that's why they're called an unpaid intern.
Hey, interns, get the guy that's hammering something outside to stop so
Yeah.
we can open the window again. What were we talking about? Okay, yeah. So it feels like his character, even at the end, it felt like a Chekhov's gun moment where they're like, if everything goes wrong, we're going to leave. And then everything kind of goes wrong. The helicopter steals her. And instead of him being like, oh, we should leave or whatever, like it's never addressed again. And that just felt like
Well, they don't
such
really
a,
have time because she's
why
in the
not?
helicopter.
Our movie's like 1,000 hours.
Well,
just
I mean,
added at
like
the end.
after that, they never get a chance to talk because she is taken in the
Right.
helicopter and he's in the car.
Oh, Liam Neeson in the Fast and Furious movies, Taken.
Jesus. I think Liam Neeson's not going to be popping up at anything anytime soon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're right. My bad.
Yeah.
but it is a good question. Like, what actor is going to be next? Because
Oh, it's not even speculating.
know-
This is not a path worth going down.
Cruise.
Cruz, you think Cruz is going to do this?
No, I don't think so.
I think Cruise-
because he would want to be the biggest star.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's too many big stars in this
Yeah.
already.
No, but I think what I was trying to say is
Sean
like
Connery.
Before I brought up
But Sean-
canceled Liam Neeson.
yeah,
that's my
Sean
bad. I
Connery
apologize.
is well past doing anything at this point. But, I think at least for the most part, this movie does a nice job with female characters. I also thought it was very interesting their approach to guns.
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill?
Mark Hamill would totally play a villain in the series.
I think we're going to get Mark Wahlberg or we get Mark Hamill.
I know, but could you imagine, like he has the same character type as Charlize Theron, where he's just the guy in the chair.
Yeah.
But how fucking awesome would it be?
He also has blonde dreadlocks.
Yes.
He's her dad.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna
but now
say.
it's gonna happen.
Oh, can we
It's
speculate
It's gonna
on
be family versus family.
who do we think the voice is?
Okay, yeah, there's that weird cybernetic voice. Your theory is that it's Charlize Theron.
I think it's Charlize Theron, but I honestly cannot remember what happened to her at the end of the other movie.
Neither can I.
She survived. She escaped. I don't remember either.
I think it's Ryan Reynolds.
It sounds
sounds a
like his
lot
voice,
like
but
Ryan
I think the way they position him, especially in the post-credit sting, I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, but as we also know, those 3 post-credit stings kind of all contradict each other.
Yeah, they don't make any sense. They sort of actively contradict what happened.
Yeah,
in the
because
rest
the
of the
first
movie.
one is there's another super virus, and Ryan Reynolds is like, "Hey, you and Shaw need to team up again." And the second bug is, "Hey, Shaw, I'm gonna throw you in jail."
Yeah, I've called the cops on you.
Yeah.
Giving them a very obviously fake name.
And then the third one is Ryan Reynolds be like, "Oh, just kidding. Virus is fine."
It's fine. I didn't get shot.
Yeah.
Stab somebody with a brick.
Right. Okay, but I do want to jump back to this real quick, though. I want to talk about their treatment of guns in this.
Okay.
So that was very, very interesting. So I remember in the trailer, they had that moment where they open up the gun locker and they've all been replaced with like the
family
traditional
heirlooms.
Samoan weaponry. And
The
like,
11th family of the family list.
Exactly.
Heirlooms.
but what's also interesting as well is there aren't a lot of henchmen that are killed by the heroes in this via guns. There's a lot of times when there could be a gunfight, and then through some sort of like plot machinations, the guns aren't usable. Like the bad guys have guns that can only be activated by like certain kinds of gloves and stuff like that. So heroes can't just grab a gun and start shooting
Or
people.
there's a flamethrower.
I feel
Or the
like the first
flamethrower.
person this is obviously not correct. The first person I remember dying on screen is the guy in the helicopter that's supposed to shoot Vanessa Kirby when her timer goes down.
No, because there are other people. Because
There are definitely other people that die.
Well, the
but, like,
opening scene is.
but like, you're talking about like heroes killing the
heroes
villains.
straight up killing villains.
Okay.
So there are a few henchmen that do get shot in various places. Statham, he does kill the 2 guys that attacked him in Vanessa Kirby's house, right? In her flat.
I think so.
I'm pretty sure because then he stopped the grenade.
No, he
from
stops
going
the grenade.
off.
No, he
Yeah.
just like
But
knocks
he
the other
beats the
guy.
shit out-
He
he beats the
beats
shit
Because
out
I
of
didn't
him.
think I thought they were MI6. I didn't think they were Etrion.
No, they're the 2 guys. They're 2 of the 3 guys from the very beginning. They take their like masks off, and 'cause one of them is familiar. I think he's popped up in some other David Leitch
Okay.
movies. But yeah, I mean the main characters in this mostly
No, because they were passive with him. They were definitely MI6 because they
weren't.
say, "Show me your hands."
no.
And I feel like that's not something that Etrion
All
would
the
do.
MI6 agents get killed. They would have to get killed. That's how they can frame Hattie. The remaining 3 guys.
There's still other
No,
MI6.
but the remaining 3 guys come in on motorcycles are stopping and having a conversation with Big Driss, and he's like, "You guys go find these people."
Wait, let's go back. Big Driss is great.
Big Driss, yeah,
But yeah, the other 3 guys that are in the apartment are Driss's boys.
yeah,
All right. Okay.
yeah. But like
Driss's triplets.
most of the
I'll workshop
henchmen and villains in this are not.
I want 3 more versions by Monday.
Damn it. Like, I thought it was just very interesting that there seemed to be a deliberate effort on the part of the filmmakers to minimize gun violence, especially on the part of the heroes, which is actually kind of bold in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of genres will now lean hard into that. Like, I even found the last time I rewatched John Wick 2, when he's going through the caverns to take people with the AR-15, I actually found it hard to watch, just given everything that's going on in this country.
That is really that's such an interesting thing. I did not notice that until now you talk about it. It's like I don't remember The Rock firing a gun. He carries the gun.
He carries. I think he maybe shoots like maybe one guy in
when they attack the
tower.
building.
Yeah,
I don't think he does because I think that they end up like it's because I remember being like, why isn't anybody shooting a gun here? Because they're behind the thing. The guys are shooting at him.
No, so
and
they
then come around
slide.
and
They slide, grab the guns, and they both shoot them.
Oh, they
and,
shoot him. I thought they just
Yeah.
hit him.
Yeah, but it's very minimal because like even then when they get down on the ground, they go to grab one of the rifles and they can't fire it because it's security locked.
Right. Exactly.
So I just thought, and even again towards the end, they like disable all the guns, so it has to be a physical brawl. And I just thought that was like a clunky mechanism, but a clever way in some form to shift the movie so it wasn't just all about firefights happening all the time.
yeah, it's more of an anti-vax movie than it is a pro-gun movie.
Exactly, yeah. But I just thought it was very bold on their part. I mean, I think it's
Because that's also the joke that we made so the guns are deactivated for 6 minutes.
Yeah.
And then, I guess it also turns off the helicopters.
turns out the
but that's
missiles and
fine.
helicopter somehow.
So the guns come back on, and then there's the army of Samoans that come in, and all of the all of the Etrian agents are like, "Oh man, I guess they got us." And I'm like, I leaned over to you. I'm like, they still have automatic weapons that now work now.
Right.
Yeah,
and there wasn't like 2 of them. There were like 20.
Yeah, there was still a small regime.
You could get out at a minimum. You could like break through the lines. Yeah.
No one else has a weapon. No one on Samoa has a gun.
Yeah.
But they have motorcycles.
Yeah. But I mean, so just, given their take on minimizing the use of guns in the film, the treatment of female characters, the inclusion of like kind of ethnic minorities, this franchise is doing what I think
This is the most progressive film of all time.
I mean,
I would agree.
I'm like genuinely going to give it credit for doing things that other major blockbusters won't do or haven't even Marvel hasn't been great about this. There's not a lot of gun violence in Marvel, but I think a lot of the female characters are still pretty shortchanged. Looking at like Ant-Man and the Wasp, like the Wasp is like barely in it and has no character arc at all.
I still think they have a long way to go. I mean, like, it's still a male movie. And it's still like, I wouldn't say, like, Vanessa Kirby's character is fantastic, but they don't
sexualize her at all.
The witch is awesome. Like, it feels like you can just get her. It's like she's a good actor.
Yeah.
And that's the reason that she's in this movie. Yes, she is also very beautiful, but we don't care about that really for the purposes of her character, except for that joke that kind of came back, I would say even one too many times, because you're like, why do we keep saying this?
Which joke?
The girl, when his daughter's like, she's really pretty.
Oh yeah.
And then someone later is like, she's really pretty.
She is.
She is. Oh, I don't disagree
She is
with
like-
that.
That wasn't in the script. That was just they saw her on set.
Yeah.
It was actually.
pretty.
Oh, you trying to tell me the little girl was actually the casting director for this?
The little girl's my least favorite part of the movie.
She's fine. I don't know why you hate her so much.
Because
She doesn't take anything away from the movie. It's not like
barely in it.
oh
After-
my god,
after
she's
Stranger Things-
stealing scenes.
After Stranger Things, after Game of Thrones, the bar of child actor has gone so high up.
I guess I didn't even think about her, to be honest. I was like, she's fine.
Not very progressive, maybe, Chris.
Yeah, wow.
Oh well, so ageist. In
saying
the
it for
opposite
you.
direction, apparently. All about the old people.
Give me only.
Keep the youths away.
Where's the Helen Mirren origin story?
Yeah, we're gonna get that. Okay, actually, that's what I do want to talk about.
Why is she such a good criminal?
spin-offs?
Why is she such a good criminal yet asks for a C4 and a birthday cake?
I know, and no one's gonna notice that.
Because it's a classic.
Yeah,
She's like, why don't you just give me a hammer or like a movable like black hole that I can just throw around places?
can you just give me a bulldozer? What do we think is going to be the spin-off from this?
Well, we know they definitely set up a sequel to this.
Yes, they set up a sequel to this with
Alongside
this background villain.
Fast 9, which
Yeah.
is also in the works.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we got to go back to Fast 9, and I bet we get like a ludicrous spinoff.
No, so I'm saying like this movie
Yeah, from
specifically.
this one.
'Cause
I don't know.
This movie sets up obviously a sequel. They have that the Isa Gonzalez led female team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That felt like it was set up.
a
Ryan
Samoa family
Reynolds-
movie.
Yes, from one
Oh, yeah, I
family
mean,
movie.
a Ryan Reynolds rock buddy cop.
Yeah, like that is set up. The fact that they give Kevin Hart a substantial enough role that it's not just a
no.
cameo.
A Kevin
No.
Hart origin story movie. But
Yeah.
isn't that the movie Central Intelligence?
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of.
Or every other movie they do together now at this point.
Did you
Or
ever see Central Intel?
No, it's actually
did.
filmed in my hometown.
Oh, really?
Shout out Winchester, Massachusetts.
Nice.
Woo!
It's very okay.
Yeah, I've heard fine things.
Supremely
I would say.
alright.
Yeah.
Or even like we might get like the Shaw family, like crime movie spinoff now, or
I
just
just
a
want
Hobbs spinoff.
all
like,
I want is like a 4th Shaw child that has never been mentioned before, used to be in the military, went rogue, and is good again.
Yeah.
Right.
I want a Pimp My Ride style Netflix series based on the Chop Shop.
The Hobbs Customs.
Yes.
Roman Reigns is Mad Mike.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So much potential.
I know, because that's the thing is that you felt like there was a lot of spin-off bait, franchise bait going
I
on
want a documentary on the 2-time Nobel Prize winning scientist.
Yeah.
Where-
Yes, Eddie Marzan's.
and how he doesn't have a replacement pair of glasses the entire time he's trying
Yeah.
to develop it.
Like, really, they can't just like stop by a CVS or a Boots in the UK.
Well, they said they have
nice
Yeah.
little WBA Walgreens
Exactly.
Boots
yeah.
Alliance.
Yeah, they stop by Mark and Spencer's.
Why
and
don't
get
they
them some
stop by
glasses.
freaking Ethion, which is
I was about
like
to say,
a giant
they
killer
said,
CVS?
They said they have 3 miles of R&D. someone in there has to have
spare pair of
contacts or
glasses.
glasses.
Do you think they shot the same the scene in the start of Rogue One where it's like the origin story where Mads Mikkelsen is like in the field, in the same place that they're shooting the outdoors of the Ethion headquarters?
Yes.
It looked very similar.
Yeah, just like a Scottish countryside.
Yeah, it was very
spot somewhere.
pretty.
It was
Yeah.
very pretty. Yeah, like that building doesn't exist.
Yeah, I was like, also, if Ethion had like workspace out here, they wouldn't want to destroy the world. They're like, oh, the world's very beautiful,
Yeah.
and I'm actually kind of enjoying this.
Okay, the last thing I really want to talk about here is I do want to talk about the mechanical prowess of the brother, specifically the hooks he uses
Oh man.
on all of his trucks.
Of the entire movie, this is what, 2 hour, two hour, like
Two and change,
yeah, 2 and change minute film. Our theater is silent for most of it. There's some laughs.
Nope, not true.
That's true.
I tried to clap at the start,
Oh,
and
yeah,
you
and I
stopped me.
stopped you. I stopped you.
Cameron silenced you.
I
Suppressed
got
your joy.
2 claps in when I saw the title screen and was asked to stop.
What I love is that each of us had a reaction. You started clapping, Shane. Cameron, you shut him up, and I started groaning because they started playing "Time in a Bottle," and I love that song. I'm like, don't do this to me. Don't make me associate this great song with this terrible.
Don't worry,
film.
it was like a modern Time in a Bottle like
yeah. They
rap
took like
cover.
a bunch of great songs and give them really shitty remixes.
So our theater is fairly quiet. There's some sprinkled laughter.
Yeah.
The woman behind us is very emotive.
She's shocked anytime a character is on screen. Like,
Yeah.
She has never seen a film.
No, exactly. She's waiting for the train to blast through the screen and kill us all.
Yes. But when we got to the part where the cars hook into each other, our theater erupts in applause with everyone.
Because it's the sequence of events is so ridiculous because they go after the helicopter, so the Rock is in the back of a tow truck. He throws chains over the wing of the helicopter, and they just automatically like lock into themselves.
Yes.
And
as
then-
chains
Dude,
do.
he's a very good
He's
mechanic.
a really, really good shot, and these are the world's greatest. Like they are sentient hooks.
They should have called the machine shop Deus Ex Machina.
Deus Ex hook.
Yeah. So the first car is Statham and the Rock.
Yeah.
Attached to the helicopter. The helicopter's a little stronger than one car.
So it starts to get pulled up off the air. So then all of the other trucks show
Uso
up.
1
Yeah.
shows up.
And then I think that's the one he just
Yeah, the double hook.
he just throws double hooks out, and they just perfectly latch onto the exposed axles.
How convenient.
Yeah, of this
Yes.
other one. And then another one shows up.
And somebody in the other car is like mouthing axles. They're like,
Yeah.
Throw it on the
Oh, yeah.
axle!
No, yeah.
Throw
Also,
the
yeah.
axle.
He's like,
The-
okay, I get you. I heard you.
The Rock is yelling this whole time. It's like, use the moonshine.
Yeah, use the moonshine.
As he's floating 30 feet in the air behind a helicopter.
with holding the tow truck to the helicopter with just his brute strength.
Oh, you know
I
he saw Chris Evans, who he's like, I have to do that
yeah,
better.
I have to hold the helicopter in place by myself.
Yes.
I will give it to them. I thought he was going to hold it in the whole time.
Oh,
They,
same.
they did like they kind of gave him a moment to like get some slack in it and loop it back in.
Yeah,
and
pull
keep
a helicopter back in.
pull a helicopter back down. But yeah, it's like
Sorry, that's 2 cars.
There's 2 cars, and then there's a third one.
Well,
So
the
Roman
second,
Reigns shows up.
Oh, the other wrestler.
yes, that's the one where it's a latch under the car.
Oh yeah,
where it
this-
just flips
a
up.
purpose-built latch just connects to the front of another
It's
car.
like a trailer hitch, but the trailer hitch that connects to the
Is
front of the car.
deployable.
Yeah.
Do you think this family's just really into trains?
Yeah, I'm telling you, like that's how they made all their money. Is they developed the world's quickest latching and unlatching hooks.
Also,
Oh,
for
but then
being,
there's
like,
the 4th car.
What's the 4th one do again?
The same thing as the 3rd one, but they're
double
like, we
hooks.
need some weight, and then it's the big Samoan guy in the
Oh,
car with
yeah.
the shitty ass grin on his face.
Yeah, and like
Say, I'm gonna save the day.
Yeah, he's like driving, grinning, and like you expect like a hillbilly banjo to play in the background. It's like. The only thing that disappointed me was those cars were obviously very well modded, but they didn't have great bodywork for the fact that they were supposed to be like these
a
amazing
body shop, like the best in the world.
Yeah, like I'm sure that like the engines were amazing and all that kind of stuff, but I was like, that car's still rusty. Like, fix that.
Well, it's because these are the ones they weren't selling.
Well, but they were obviously modified very well.
It's
Yes.
parked outside.
I don't have
All right.
space for this indoors.
It's the rainy season.
Yeah, it's parked next to a sea. Salt water is terrible for a car. That shit gon' get rusted.
It's kind of a stupid move to put their body shop on like the coast.
Yeah, maybe not the best place for
And
that.
make it like all partially outdoors.
Oh god.
This is a good place for electronics. Speaking of that, the brother being able to rebuild the machine. Where do you think he got all those videos that were like how to rebuild this machine?
They have
YouTube?
internet on the island.
Yeah, but this is the only one. Why
Yeah.
is he
Well,
YouTubing how to build it?
That's the thing, is the double Nobel Prize winning scientist also has a
Wait, when was he watching the
surprisingly
video?
robust YouTube career.
Yeah. When is he watching a video?
Oh, in the montage.
No, he's filming it. I thought he was filming all the pieces.
Yeah,
so
he
he-
is filming the pieces, but then up on the screen is not what he's filming.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention.
It definitely, like, I'm very confident that at one point he's watching like a YouTube style how-to where someone at the start was like, "Don't forget to like and subscribe if you guys are building these antivirus
Smash
things."
that like button.
You know, smash that like button if you hate viruses.
Hit that bell icon
Jenny
if you
McCarthy.
want to stay up to date.
Jenny McCarthy's like, "I will not."
Yeah.
How dare you? I'm reporting this channel.
Guys, I hate that this video keeps on getting taken down because anti-vaxxers, but I'm just trying to get the virus out of my body.
Yeah. There's a user named McCarthy Mom who keeps commenting and disliking these videos.
Third Wahlberg.
Yeah.
God,
Miss
that's
Wahlberg.
right. She's a Wahlberg, isn't she?
She is.
Oh my God! So we're gonna get Mark Wahlberg in the next movie.
Dude, I would
inevitably.
I'm gonna say this. I think Mark Wahlberg would actually fit perfectly.
Oh, he
into the
would,
Fast
100%.
franchise.
Yeah, he would.
He would be such a fun like. What about it's like a?
Oh my God! It's a
rogue-
Transformer.
Oh my God! It's Black Superman.
What if he's the next genetically engineered hero they come across?
Now
Yeah.
a white
He
Superman.
never could. He couldn't get the $6 billion man film off the ground. He's been trying for like a decade, so he settles into just being the next cyber villain in Hobbs and Shaw 2, Hobbs 2, Shaw 2, 2 Hobbs, 2 Shaw.
Yes.
Two shot.
Well, 'cause we
two
talked about
Hobbs,
that. They
two
can do
Ants,
that.
two
Fast and the
Shaws.
Furious Shaw drifts.
Shaw extended family.
Wouldn't it? It
reunion.
would be Samoa drifts, right?
What?
Wouldn't it be Samoa drifts?
Yes, that would make more sense. Yeah.
Did you just mansplain his joke?
Yes, he did.
No, what did you didn't say? Did you say Samoa drift?
I said Shaw drifts. I'm just,
Yeah, and that's a bad joke. Samoa drift is a bad joke.
it's a much better
Greg,
joke.
write down that punch.
Yeah. No, hang on.
Greg, write it down.
I got it. Hobbs and Shaw 2, London grifts. They're grifters. Figured it out.
George, can you cut that from the edit?
Oh my God! What, stop hiring interns.
With G names only.
Exclusive with G names.
The Gast and the Gurius.
Okay. And have we thoroughly discussed this film at this
think
point?
we're off the gales at this point.
I think we're good.
I would love to keep talking, but we don't have to.
No, I think we've basically covered all of the major bases at this point. So we will just say, look, I will say, I'm glad I saw it with you guys. Any other reason, I would never would have watched this movie.
I genuinely, if they put another one out, I will go see it.
Same.
Well, yeah, I will too, because you will make me go see it
Exactly.
with you too.
If they put another one out, we will go see it.
Yeah, we will.
Do we want
collectively
to
go see it.
spoil the family counter, or do we want people to?
Oh, let's do that. Okay, yeah. So we started a tradition with The Fate of the Furious to do an over-under as to how many times they're going to say family. Now, if I recall from that movie, I think the highest we guessed was...
I said 17. I think.
Either the highest guess is 18 or the actual was 18, but it was still beyond our guess.
Yeah.
I want to say it was like 23 times. They
Yeah,
said
it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
I am an idiot and keep
Yeah.
picking very low.
at the last
You say
minute.
6 is
Yeah.
I was like, they're gonna say it like the normal number of times a movie would say a word.
So the movie's about to start. I'm like, oh wait, shit, we got to do the over under. So Shane, you were 6.
6.
I was 12.
I was 15.
You were 15, and it didn't happen. It was actually at 6 for a really
For a
long
until
time.
they made it to
time, and then we
Samoa.
went
Yeah.
to something.
Exactly. Then we made it to the final act, and then it got said a lot. And all this at that point, it doubled. It went straight from 6 to 12. I'm like, oh my god, it's exactly 12. I'm locked in. I'm like, I'm going to win. The movie ends. I'm like, wait, hang on. We have post.
There's 3 post-credit
There's 3
scenes.
post-credit
post-credit scenes.
scenes, yeah.
And in those post-credit scenes, they say family 2 more times.
Yes.
Like it was, was never more invested in a film than I was in the post-credit scenes of this movie, waiting to see if Cameron was going to win.
I was-
just eke a win on the number of families
I
uttered
was
in this
so
film.
dedicated to every word coming out of Ryan Reynolds' mouth.
I was so fucking focused. Like my brain was like
my
converting
God.
the dialogue into a script so I could check it as it was going along.
My dumb brain is we're gonna see the next one. I'll be like, I bet they only say family like 3 times.
Like
Like,
5
it's
times.
probably like, I mean, the movie is about it. But like, you wouldn't think they'd be that on the nose, right?
At what number in the franchise is the word family going to be in the title?
Fate of the Family?
Fate of the Family?
Family of the Furious,
Yeah, the Fast and the Family.
Family and Family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10.
I was kind of surprised they didn't name this Hobbs and Shaw a Fast and the Furious family.
The Fast and Furious family presents.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. But yeah, guys, don't worry if you were concerned because it wasn't a Vin Diesel picture, there wouldn't be a lot of family in it.
Do you think Vin Diesel's punch guy just has some real family issues? It's just like, just put family in again, please.
All I know is that the F key on that writer's laptop is just worn out so hard.
The F and the 8.
The 8. Oh, wait, one last thing. Did you guys like their use of the one F-bomb in this?
Oh, I missed it.
Can you remind me, please?
So basically, the Rock and Statham are separated. They do their parallel missions. They're both being informed. They're gonna have to work together. And it's like, oh fuck no, I'll never work with this guy. And right on the fuck, and then cuts the two of them facing off against each other. How does that stack up for you in the use of single F-bombs in a PG-13 film?
It was fine.
I thought it was decent.
I give
It was
it.
decent.
I thought the first part was just too template.
Yeah.
Too formulaic is the word I should have used.
Just a little bit.
And so when they said that, I was already I was like, I know where this is going, and we're just gonna do the 2008 insults for a while, and
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, it really felt like they just were reading off Reddit, r/insult me.
yeah, and it's that part. I think as soon as they got free from that, I think they were really burdened in the first act by all that. So I don't think the F was strong.
Okay. All right. We'll see. Wanted to know. Mm-hmm. Now we know.
What's your number one, or what's your top 3 Fs used in PG-13?
I'm a big fan of X-Men First Class, the Wolverine, Logan.
Oh, yeah, fuck off. That's probably my number
Go
one.
fuck yourselves.
Yeah.
I am a big fan of the use of the F-bomb in Love, Simon, where it's right after the other kid has outed him and the whole school knows, and the kid comes up to try and talk to him, and it's like you took something that was meant to be mine away from me, just get the fuck away from me.
Oh yeah,
And,
yeah.
for me that worked really well. It was really impactful.
Mm-hmm.
It's 2 of my favorites.
Those are good ones.
Yeah. Also, honorable shout out for Spaceballs 2. Not Spaceballs 2, that movie never existed, but in Spaceballs, they get all the way to the movie and they go to use the self-destruct. There's a little tag that says out of order, and it's fuck, even in the future, nothing works. That one's pretty good. Yeah, this is mine.
That's impressive. I can very rarely remember them.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the creative use of a single F-bomb in a film.
It's a nice it's nice that they have that rule, because it's almost like everyone has that weapon in their hip pocket to use.
Exactly. It's can we do it? Can we be clever about it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, I think that covers it. Checked off all of my list.
Mm-hmm. I'm curious. Last comment. I'm curious how their contract looks compared to in Roger Rabbit, the contract between Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse. Of is there a screen time?
Oh, do they have to have comparable screen times? Statham
Yeah.
and The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Is that why they did so many 2-shots or splits?
Just solves the problem. They're both on screen.
I like those. I like when
didn't-
they're fancy with their cinematography like that.
Oh, see, I didn't feel like it was fancy.
I know you
felt
don't.
I just love you thought that was fancy.
It's creative, and it's something that I do in my work.
a lot of split screen.
Split screen?
Yeah, I do a lot of
Really?
split screen work. Yeah,
Really?
You're
Yeah.
a big 2-player multiplayer video game from the 1990s kind of guy.
yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Get that nice LAN party feel. It's nostalgic.
Just no looking. No.
I
I found
you
my
screen peeked.
I found myself the entire time being which one am I supposed to be looking at?
Yeah.
Well, because they had a cool play of color.
That's true.
It's one
A lot
side
of
was always
grays
red.
versus a lot of brights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Jason Statham's bathrobe.
Oh,
Yeah, he's just got a guy.
Wait. There's a girl in his bed in that opening shot.
Oh,
Is that
you're right.
Is that the same girl?
No. Oh my god.
I don't
Is he cheating on her?
think. I don't.
Is he unfaithful?
Jason Statham is a villain again.
No.
It's not the Fast and the Faithful.
Shut up. We're not ending on that. I'm not ending
And
on
Fast and
that.
Furious, the unfaithful family.
Exactly. And on that note, Shane, thank you so much for joining us.
Guys, thank you for having me
Once
as always.
again, I love that you've become our go-to guest for any of the major blockbusters.
Oh, that sounds that is an honor.
Let's keep this trend going.
I'm in. Fantastic.
Yes. Do you want people to reach you anywhere on social media?
I don't have anything interesting going on social media.
Okay.
I'm a very bland guy.
You play golf sometimes.
Yeah, I like to let people know that I play golf. That's about it.
If you want to see Shane's golf, I don't know, stalk him.
Yeah.
Yeah, find me on the course.
Google it.
Yes. Steal one of Etrion's satellites.
I was gonna say, comment on the Timm Talk Instagram page if you want to play golf with me
Exactly.
in Los
If you-
Angeles.
if you live
and
in LA.
I will do it. I will actually do it.
You live in Los Angeles and want a round of golf with Shane, reach us at TimmTalkPod on Facebook.
Is that gonna be one of
Twitter,
our?
Instagram, and Gmail.
That can be a contest giveaway.
Yeah.
The contest is if you enter, you win.
Yeah,
But you actually probably have lost.
If you participate, you win, and you can pay for yourself to join
I was gonna
Shane on the golf course.
You don't even have to pay for my round.
No, just must pay for your own.
It's actually a sweepstakes where I win a friend.
Yes.
Exactly. But that's where you can find the podcast. If you want to find me, I'm at Lordifer on Twitter and Instagram.
If you want to see my face, you can find that at camdexter_adventures. And my other one is Cameron.Dexter. And it's for art stuff.
It's all the art stuff.
Yes.
All right. Well, Shane, once again, thank you for being here. Audience, thank you for joining us. And then a final fuck you to the two of you for making me see this movie.
Was that our one
Was that
F-bomb?
our one F-bomb?
I've said fuck many more times on this podcast already.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Bye.